So we still have another month of winter, and doesn't it seem like just about everyone you know is sick around this time of year? We hear a lot about the flu and colds. What about some other illnesses or ailments that come along with winter? Dr. David Newman, an orthopedist and the author of Pop Doc, and Dr. Alexander Soa, an internist, are here to answer our questions. Thank you so much for being here. Dr. Newman, I want to start with you, because when you think about winter, often you think about colds and the flu, but you say people also tend to injure themselves more during this time of year. Why is that?
Yes. Well, the ground we walk on has changed, so that's really the main thing. Because as we walk, our hips rotate slightly, so if we're walking and all of a sudden there's wet, frozen, slushy ground, and we don't have good footing, we can cause a twisting type of condition in the body, and that can lead to stretching or tearing of soft tissues around the joints.
I mean, so what do you do? Because you want to get out, you want to still get some exercise, and you can't always look out for these things. Are there other precautions you can take other than trying to keep your eyes open?
Well, keeping your eyes open is certainly important.
That helps, right? Wearing
some good, stable, sturdy shoes are important as also, and as well as keeping the pace. Don't try and rush too fast. If you are falling, usually there's a twisting motion, so you can injure your ankle, your knee, your hip.
Is there a way you can fall more safely?
Well, that comes with, I think, agility as well as like instinct. So when you're falling, some people can fall more gracefully than others. And if you're out of shape and or overweight, potentially there's more forces across your joints as you're falling, and that can lead to more damage.
Might be a good time for the treadmill rather than the park, right?
Absolutely.
And Dr. Soa, when it comes to, you know, cold and flu season, a lot of times you only think about that having to do with the really, really cold months. But you say even late into the season, this is affecting people. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. So our immune systems are run down by this point in the year. And even though the temperature is improving and we're feeling spring around the corner, we still need to take precautions to prevent the cold and flu. And actually, it's a very late peaking flu season, and we're seeing strains of a virulent H1N1 circulating, which tends to affect young and middle-aged patients, and these are the patients that don't really get the flu shot either. So I want to put a little announcement out there to still go get your flu shot. It's not too late.
It's not too late.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I would have assumed it was.
Nope.
And what about these swings in temperature? Last Sunday it was -1. Now it's in the 50s. How does that affect people's, you know, immune system, or maybe how careful they're being?
Our body gets confused, and we get confused as to kind of what to do with ourselves. So are we inside? Are we outside? How to dress? You're not dressing warmly enough. And then you get this nice day, and you're not taking care of yourself like you should. So you're not washing your hands. You are coughing and shaking someone's hand. You think that the cold and flu season is behind us, and it's not. So you still need to be aware that you can transmit viruses and still be susceptible to them.
That warm weather can be deceptive,
Absolutely.
right? And Dr. Newman, what does this do for joints? Because a lot of people, you know, I actually have bad knees myself, and sometimes when it rains or when it's cold, it can affect people. What do these swings do for that, and how do you help that?
Well, we feel pain because the nerves in the joints get stimulated. So it usually gets stimulated due to ongoing low-grade inflammation. So when the inflammation is there and the change in the weather causes a barometric change, that can cause pain within your joints. I feel that the best way to prevent pain in the joints is to stay healthy. Stretching, flexibility, tone, those are important aspects of joint health, and I think it's important to uphold those during your daily life.
And Dr. So I quickly wanted to touch on respiratory, because that's the other big issue this time of year. What can people do on that front?
So, you know, if you have a respiratory illness, underlying illness like asthma, colds, and the winter is horrible for that, because the cold weather causes bronchoconstriction of your airways, so tightening of your airways, asthma flares. And then also, as we just discussed, you're still getting these increased rates of cold and flu, which can exacerbate these symptoms. So you want to take precautions. You want to sleep with a humidifier, keep your airways nice and moist, get your flu shot, and take your medicines like you should. And if you do have a flare of asthma, have a plan with your doctor as to what to do.
Great advice. Well, thank you both so much for coming on. For more information on how you can stay healthy this time of year, you can check out our website, cbsnewyork.com.